immigrants are coming. Thank goodness for immigrants. They breathe new life and energy and opportunity into America. 1821, 1831, we had 150,000 immigrants. That's a 10-year period. That's 15,000 people per year. That's nothing. 15,000 a year, that's hardly immigration. But look what happened. Look how things explode after 1831. Between 41 and 51, we had 1.75 million come to America. Between 51 and 61, 2.5 million come to America. And immigration is just booming. Two main groups where I talked about, the Irish and the German. Irish. I'm Irish. This is my group. My great-grandfather came when the potato famine hit in 1845. He came over with his sister. He was a teenager. She was in her mid-20s. She paid passage. He did not. He stowed away on the ship. They caught him, and he had to work off his passage to America. They didn't come to America. They went to Canada. She settled there. I have relatives in Canada I've never met, don't know anything about them. And she stayed there. He walked across the border into America, got hooked up with a railroad company in New York, and was building railroads right down through the United States. Happened to be in Texas when the Civil War broke out, joined the Confederate Texas 11th Cavalry, fought under Bragg on the Army of East Tennessee, fought at Shiloh, Lookout Mountain, Chickamauga, lost an eye at Shiloh. Had a family before the war. They all died. His wife and all of his children died of typhus during the war. Don't know anything about them except that they died. When the war was over, now he's it's way up now in years now, and he married a girl that was 21 when he was 61, and they had 7 children. That's my family. That woman died when I was 2. So I was alive when a woman was alive that was married to a man that fought in the Civil War. And you wonder, why do you have such an interest in history? My family is history. And I grew up around the table listening to these stories. And history for me was always people. It was never just words on a page. It was always people. And the human interest element was always real for me because it was part of my family. My mother asked that lady one time, why did you marry a man so old? He's 61 and you're 21. Her answer said a whole lot about the Civil War. She said, he came home. So many men died. If a man came home and he had 2 good legs, 2 good hands, he can plow a field and put a roof over your head and put food on the table. He is marriage material. And they had 7 children, one of which was my grandfather. And that's my Irish connection. That's me. I came. Why? Because the potato crop failed. They got a blight in 1845, which killed the potatoes in the ground. The potato grew, but just about the time the potato would ripen, it would turn black. And it was it was completely unedible. It was rotten, and 90% of the Irish population lives off potatoes. Now, we never knew where he was from. We still don't know where my great-grandfather was from. The only thing we ever got from him was this. Very old man. He filled out a piece of paper once for the federal government talking about his place of origin. And he wrote Rhone on it. That's all we know. That's the only thing we have in any kind of a document that tells us where he's from. We've looked at maps going back into the 1600s. We can't find it. There's no river. There's no castle. There's no village called Rhone. And we don't know what he meant by that. Now, it could be that the village that he was from didn't exist in the old maps that we're looking at and then ceased to exist in modern times. Millions of people died in the Irish potato famine. Millions. About 20% of the whole population died in about 10 years. It was horrible. Well, because of that, you have whole villages that disappear. And grass just grows up over, the buildings fall down, and there used to be a village there, but 30 years after that, nobody remembers it. And it could be that the village he came from is there in ruins. We just don't know that's what it was. I'd love to go find out. He was Roman Catholic. That's a help to me. Because if we could ever get over to Ireland, the Catholics keep great records. If I could get, we do know this, the McBride name was more prominent in the northwest corner of Ireland. If my wife and I could get over there and bum around and look at some old records of some Roman Catholic churches, and they keep records and never throw them away, I could probably find him. Because you're going to have a birth record, you're going to have some kind of a christening record. It would be there if I could just get close to where he may have been. And we're still trying to plan that trip, get over to Ireland and go find him. Boy, what a thrill that would be for me to go through some old Roman Catholic records and find my great-grandfather's name and where he was born. And then maybe go actually find the village and maybe find someone who may be my relative over there. That'd just be a thrill for me. It's probably not going to happen, but it would be great, and I would love to do it. What do you know about your family? What do you know about immigration? The Irish came in huge numbers. Germans followed.